Do you know what this is? Of course you don't. Um, but I do. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hi, how are you? Okay, so we're in a hotel and once again, there's an issue with me being able to hook my shanama ding dong thingy majig tripod situationship to the desk because the lip on the desk is like this big and my little clamp only opens so far. So I'm kind of doing this sidewaysy, and yeah, that's why we have hands coming from this direction instead of forward. Anyway, so enough. I pre-opened it because I'm naughty like that. But as you can see, it's something from Baba Studios, and I wonder what that could be. If you are following me on Twitter, or if you've even checked the community tab in the last 24 hours, you have a big idea of what has come in the mail, and has come all the way from Prague, you guys. So this thing I pre-ordered, I want to say back in the spring, and I was so excited for it. They opened up the pre-orders for it and they were gone for this particular edition of this. They were gone within like a day, if not just a little bit over a day. So I was really glad that I picked it up. And let me just move this guy out of the way. So did I pre-open it a little bit? Yes, I did. Okay. Because I was so excited. And without further ado, we're going to show it off to you. You'll have to apologize for the lighting. It's going to be a little shiny on stuff because I'm kind of working with what I've got with me right now. But yeah, as you can see, it is the 4th edition, the limited edition, the Memento Mori Bohemian Gothic Tarot. This is the 4th, like I said, this is the 4th edition, and I believe this is the final edition that they are printing of the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. There is this one, which is a larger version, and then there's the standard version. I think the standard version still is available for pre-order, so if you are interested, I would go scoop that up right away. I believe the price is about $100 United States. It's totally worth it. I have the 2nd and 3rd edition. I do not have the first. At that time, I wasn't, I think I was in my non-collective phase at that time. I also got a bag to go along with it. Not so much for this edition, because I am going to be purchasing the standard size. I'm going to be using this for that. And also Baba Studio, being the amazing company they are, these are the size, like look at the size of this. It's like bigger than my hand. This is the size of the cards in this deck. But this is from the Bohemian Cat Tarot, the theater tarot. And they send like a couple of sample cards, you know, and you can kind of see that wonderful cold foil stamping that they've done on this card edition, and they've got it going on for the Bohemian Cat Tarot as well. And so in the back you'll, you know, see a little bit more information about that deck, which that'll be coming out. I'll link it in the description box. I don't want to misquote when that's coming out. And then there's this one, which I really like the art on this one. I am planning on like framing this because I think this is so cool. And then for these ones, for the 2 of Pentacles and the full card, it's kind of funny because this reminds me a lot of my daughter's cat, Yokai. And she had a cat named Magic. Unfortunately, Magic is no longer with us. And so what I plan on doing is framing these and placing them in her room for art, because she's also getting into the tarot a little bit. And those just had like their significance to her. And so I figured I will gift those to her. And thank you for all your support. We wish you Merry festivities and a Happy New Year. How sweet. Okay. So the part that you're actually waiting for, drum roll it, right? So I'm gonna remove this bubble wrap. Okay, so how this came in the post was it obviously in the bubble wrap, but underneath the bubble wrap they had like used cling wrap, like, you know, your sandwich type wrap all around it, so it didn't move and it was thoroughly protected. And then they had the bubble wrap on top of it. And this is a wooden box, you guys, high gloss wooden box, black, with the limited edition stamping. And there's a little metal clasp that you open, and ta-da! There's some little packing peanuts, probably to keep everything together. And then it also comes with this really awesome drawstring bag. How cool is that? So we're gonna go ahead and move the case out of the way just for a minute, and focus on this packaging for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of zoom up a little bit for you. Sorry, the scale of this is gonna be a little wonky, but we'll make it through. So, of course, in it is this large deck. Oh my gosh. Yay. I mean, I'm telling you, it's big. She be big. And inside of the bag itself, I don't think there's anything else in there. Nope, that was it. Move that off to the side, is the little white booklet. Baba Studios is kind of notorious for not really releasing their decks with a huge full color guidebook, because they usually have a companion book that is much larger, full size. It's usually like an 8x10 book that is fully detailed, fully colored, and usually it's a separate purchase. And in this case, for this deck, it is, I believe it's $25 on the website. I'm picking that up when I pick up the second deck. So this is a limited edition. So my deck is 114 of 990. That is the production amount for this deck. After the 990, that is it. So here she is. And as you can see, shrink wrapped to ensure security and everything of the deck. And look at this backing, the Memento Mori backing. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And you can't really, it's not going to give it justice on the camera. It's just not. Like, the coloring of it and everything is just amazing. So we're going to go ahead and unwrap the deck. So there she be. And this is it's the 2023 version. It's by Karen Mahoney and Alex Yukolov, as usual. Same thing with the previous decks. Like I said in previous mentioning, I believe this is the last production run of the Bohemian Gothic Tarot that the studio had announced that, you know, because of people being so shady and so horrible about reproducing decks, you know, and selling them at discount prices through those little rinkety-dinky sites, you know, Shine, Temu, things like that. It's, you know, really infringed on their ability to produce decks continuously. So keep in mind that when we support sites that run prints of other people's decks for far discounted prices, the original artist and company does not receive profits off of those at all. So Baba Studio is amazing at what they produce. They go through great lengths to produce top quality art. They go through great lengths to produce an amazing deck of anything that they do. It takes them years to produce a deck because they work on it so thoroughly, getting the right colorizations, just everything, and then the right representation of each card. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into producing a tarot deck or any product at all. So we want to make sure that when we purchase the deck, that we are purchasing it to where the original creator of anything we buy is credited. because why else would you do something like this? You know, of course, yes, it is the ability to produce an amazing product, but we want to make sure that they are credited for it, compensated, and that they are paid rightfully so. So don't go through secondary sites to purchase decks. It's just not good ethics at all. Anyway, enough of that tangent. But here we are with the full card. And look at that beautiful cold foiling. You can see the shine of it. Like I said, in person, these are just amazing. Now, is this deck user friendly? I already complain about standard decks because look at the back with that cold foiling. Oh my God, you guys, can you see? I already complain about standard decks because I have such small hands. In case you didn't realize, I have small, chunky hands, and my dexterity isn't that great because I also have rheumatoid arthritis. And so my dexterity isn't already that great. Accompany that with being, you know, my hands having a smaller stature and everything. Larger decks are just like almost the bane of my existence, but they are amazing for doing readings that you teach with, because if I have to show a card to a class, I can hold this up and it's a little bit more detailed imagery wise. The bottom of these cards have this wonderful filigree border, bottom bordering, and the font is a very beautiful cool white, so it's going to show up very well. One of the things that has gone on with the Bohemian Gothic tarots is each edition has had a stronger representation of backlighting or light within the imagery. If you go back to my previous video where I did a deck review of the 3rd edition, I talk about it more, but you can also see how the lighting is on that deck if you go look back onto other videos of other people who've uploaded the 1st and even 2nd edition. The very 1st edition is a lot darker imagery, 2nd edition gets a little bit lighter, 3rd edition gets a little bit more lighter, and as I can tell in this one, the lighting is a little bit different as well, a lot cooler toned. Alrighty, so right here we have the Magician card, and I can tell you right now this is a very well illuminated deck because the Magician's face has a lot of direct illumination from that candle, illumination from the window. You can see the details in the cloth on his altar. You can see the detail illumination on the chalice, off the skull. Everything's represented here, from your earth, your water, your swords, your fire element is there, earth being the skull. And as the Magician, he is just the mastery of his, you know, alchemy and his elements, and he uses them in order to produce. So next we have the High Priestess, beautiful colorization on her. I love the soft imagery on her face. It's almost like it's got that wonderful, remember back in the day, the blur filters that were real popular? I guess they still kind of are, but back when you would shoot in 35mm, you would have to put a special blur filter on your camera, and this is what it definitely reminds me of. But once again, that illumination source within it is just perfect for illuminating enough of everything, yet still keeping that deeper tone, darker component. The Empress card. I love how you can see the jewel toned green. You can see everything on the little girl's dress, even though we are subjected to noting that it is in a darker room. There is an illumination factor. I love that. Look at that Emperor card. That wonderful cold foiling. And they went through such great lengths to kind of make that cold foil stamping a rather standing point for this deck. Now, they've had the silver foil stamping before on other decks. They had a limited edition silver version, and that one had the silver stamping, but this is that unique cold foil stamping. And then they brought back the Lover's card. In other decks, you would get more than one Lover's card. And in this one, we're just sticking with this one. Look at that Chariot card. That's, who wouldn't want that as like a beautiful framed piece of art? Look how gorgeous. The Strength card. Look at that hermit. I love that you can tell he's in a dark forest. It's probably a little bit more illuminated than I would like in the background, but this light source off of his face, like, look how amazing that's done. The Wheel of Fortune. It's based off of the Fortune Teller. I love this image. This is probably one of my favorite images in the deck, and I have it on the bag that I'm going to show you in a minute. So we'll go through the major arcana, and then I'll just do a quick flip through of the minor arcana for you. Justice, the Hanged Man, that Death card. I like how the Death element, he's a little bit more character-y. He's not just so anatomically correct. He's got a little bit of a characteristic to him, almost an animatory component. Temperance. You guys will have to forgive me. I am still battling whatever lung infection I've had from the previous month, so look at that Devil card. And in this, I like how they represented not just the devil as a controlling feature or a controlling being, but they also include things like the addictional components and, you know, persuasive components or absence of sound mind component that can also be represented through the Devil card. The Tower card has always been one of my favorites. I like how it's just literally represented by the Tower leaning over, all of these elementals, and then the lightning. The Star card, very soft, very illuminated, the one singular star in the background. The Moon card here, beautiful as well. You can kind of tell that she's, you know, understanding of the night. There's things hidden in the depths, but it's also illuminated. The Sun card with the Child, that ray of sunshine coming down. That Child has kind of a, I don't know how you would like word the facial expression on the Child. I guess it should be joyous and happy, but it's kind of like they know something the rest of us don't. Judgment. The World card. And that is all of the major arcana. And like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick flip through of the minor arcana for you. then the Danse Macabre, or the Danse Macabre. And what a beautiful card. I love that they included this one. And it's definitely one of my all-time favorite cards. I know I've said that about the Wheel of Fortune, but this one out of all the decks is my favorite. And I believe this one was included in version 2, if I'm not mistaken. I know that in the 3rd edition, they had the 2 lovers cards. There was some controversy about some people not enjoying the art of one versus the other. So they included both, so you can use whatever one resonates with you. Alrighty. So like I said, this is a thick and heavy deck. It is also very big. So shuffling it is going to definitely be a sideways thing for me if and when I choose to use it, but it shuffles beautifully. It's also a decent cardstock, not too thick, yet not too flimsy. And I don't always suggest doing that with your limited edition decks, but for the sake of content, I will go ahead and show you guys how amazing you can utilize this deck. Details in the description box about where you can go to purchase your own deck. Like I said, I believe this one is completely sold out. It did say pre-order, but I don't know if they're going to be adding any more additionally. Yeah, so I will go ahead and link everything in the description box below so you can go ahead and check out the Baba Studio site and purchase your deck and all that good fun stuff. So last but not least, let's check out the bag that I purchased. Remember I told you I purchased a tarot bag, and I love how they're doing their own packaging with the tissue paper and everything. I did remove the tape so I didn't have to struggle with it on the camera as much. And ta-da! How gorgeous is that? And it is a beautifully well-made bag. It is a velvet bag. This is also limited edition, by the way. So, go ahead and pull that one out of packaging. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this isn't like, it's silk screened. I guess it's sublimation is what I would describe it as, because it's not like printed on there type, you know what I know what I'm talking about. But it has the little tag, it has the little drawstrings, beautiful white goldish colored tassels and cording. Very thick padding right here on the front. This has a different texture than the back of the bag. But yeah, your standard deck is going to fit in there just fine. My tarot deck, obviously, I don't think this one would fit in there, but let's, you know, I know this one comes with its own bag. I'm pretty sure you could probably fit this one in there if you wanted to. It might be a tight fit. Let's give it a go for the sake of knowledge here. I'm just trying not to bend any of my cards. I don't want to mess with my deck for the sake of content that bad. Okay, so you can put it in there. You can totally get it in there. Closing it, I don't know how, like that's about as far closed as I would be able to get it with the large deck. Now the smaller deck, those fit in there beautifully. This one is longer comparably. So that's the big thing, is the length. So I guess I would avoid using this bag for the larger deck. You could put it in there, but I would kind of avoid it. It definitely fits in its proper component Memento Mori bag. And yeah, so that is the Bohemian Gothic Tarot 4th edition. Once again, thank you guys so very much. I hope you have an amazing day. Please hit that subscribe button if you care to see more content, and give this a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.